Well, that's kind of a fine trio of vehicles behind you.
You know, it's funny, magazines don't have the impact they had when I was a kid, because that was the only place you saw a car in color, was on the cover. Because even the inside of the magazine were black and white photos. You waited every month for that issue to come out. And you had Hot Rod, which was mostly hot rods, obviously. Road and Track was the one because it combined a lot of the European stuff with the American, like the Tiger, like the Cobra, like the Shelby G50. And one of the most famous ones is Carol standing like this with a GT40, a Cobra, and a Mustang GT350. I thought, oh, wouldn't it be great to have all three of those? Oh, that would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? It just seemed like the most incredible thing in the world. Yeah, all my knowledge of these, my knowledge of the Tiger. I remember I got my Hot Rod magazine, I think it was 64. Carroll Shelby puts a big block. It wasn't the big block then, but they used the term. And what? And I remember reading about it and thinking, oh, that must be unbelievable. Because when you're a kid, it's all about horsepower. The handling, braking, that's all. It's just going fast is what intrigued you the most. Because I had been in the Sunbeam sports car, which was a nice car, but even compared to MGs and Triumphs, it was slow. It was just sort of what they used to call a secretary's car, you know, that kind of thing. And to put the Tiger in that, it just changed the whole car. I had one early on. I had a Sunbeam Tiger when I came to California. I had no money. I really didn't live in a very nice place. I spent every dime to buy the Sunbeam Tiger. Had a built 289 in it, which was way overpowered for the car. And I couldn't afford tires. You know, I'd drive it in California heat. The heat coming off of that thing, I'm like a dog with my tongue out the, you know, just trying to get some heat. It was just too much. It was loud. You know, it just smelled of exhaust fumes all the time. I rolled it twice, and I had the frame straightened. And the guy said, "When you roll this again, the frame's going to just snap." All right, and then that's when I sold it. But I had a lot of fun with it. I liked that car. It was great. But the short wheelbase combined with the horsepower, combined with the El Cheapo tires I had on, I was just going off the road all the time with it.
So we have you down in 1977 as a member of the US Tiger Club.
Yeah, I think I probably joined around 77. Yeah, I think I bought it in 75 or 76.
So was that before you had any cash, and that was the most horsepower you could get for the least money?
Oh yeah, that was that and motorcycles. Yeah, that's where the horsepower was. And back in those days, 200 horsepower was considered a lot for a car. You know, there wasn't, I mean, the most powerful thing you could get was a Corvette, and that was maybe, well, 360 was the most you could get. So the Tiger was pretty impressive. It was pretty impressive. They used to call it the poor man's Cobra, and, well, I was a poor man at the time, and that was my Cobra. I mean, it had the same transmission, the same engine, the same power as a Cobra, but it wasn't a Cobra. So I guess it was a poor man's Cobra. Unless you owned one, then it's a Tiger. You know.
It lived in the shadow of the Cobra a little bit, but it's a different kind of car. It's a much more civilized car than the Cobra.
It is a different kind of car. And, you know, it's so funny. The older I get, the more I like just a nice stock Tiger. Because when you overbuild it, you find the limitations of it pretty quickly. With that short wheelbase, you just nail it, and you're going sideways. Well, what happened, you know? But with the 260 with a 4-barrel, as opposed to 2-barrel, was a really nice, powerful car. You got that long pull between second and third. You know, wonderful car to drive, yeah.
What's your kind of favourite Shelby piece then? If push came to shove and they said, Jay, you can only have one Shelby based motor.
Well, if you can only have one Shelby, like I live in communist China and you're only allowed one Shelby per family, you know, I think the GT350 Mustang would be probably the one, because it can be used as a car. You can't really use the Tiger or the Cobra as your go-everywhere car, because you really can't lock it. You know, it doesn't have any windows. You can't carry lumber home from Home Depot in the back of it. You can't even put groceries in it, really. There's no room at all. So the GT350, I think, would be the most fun. And to this day, it's still a lot of fun to drive with the live axle and the side pipes, and you feel like you're driving a race car. and that's a classic case of all the fun is between 40 and 100, you know. I enjoy watch. You know, I've got an F1 McLaren, and the tank goes like this. Woo! Okay, now I'm in jail. What happened? You know. Whereas with the Shelby, it's kind of watch it sweep, you know, and watching, you look at the tack, make the shift, watch it come up again. I mean, there's a whole visceral thing involved with it. So if I could only keep one.
So you wouldn't give us a soundbite, say, if I could only have one Shelby-based car, it would be the Sunbeam Tiger.
Oh, you want me to say the Tiger? Oh, okay, he wants me to say the Sunbeam Tiger. And the Sunbeam Tiger, but if you only have one, it has to have some practicability. You have to be able to carry something in. If I can have one open-top green sports car, it would be the Tiger. And they are what I consider the original Sunbeam Tiger, Daimler Dart. You got a 2.5-liter Hemi V8 with 180 horsepower. I mean, that was the Tiger of the day. It was fast, and it was styled by Englishmen who had never been to America. Put fins on it, Nigel. Americans love fins. Put a bit of chrome. They put the chrome on with a trowel. Just more chrome, but all over the front. The big bumperettes, the big chrome things, the big fins sticking out. The Americans will love it. Send it over there. And no, they didn't hate it. It was voted the ugliest car at the New York car show. It looks like a catfish, you know. But it's a great car. It is. I put a 5-speed in mine. Fantastic. I put a Weber on it. We made our own intake manifold. Engine stock, fast. It really is. It's a poor man's Tiger.
So would you swap your Daimler Dart for Steve's Tiger?
Well, I can afford to have both. That's a nice thing.
That's a good thing about being Jay Leno.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what I know. I just can't get that to it. Yeah, I just never sold anything, but no. But the Daimler Dart that's a really unappreciated car. People just have no idea how good it is. I mean, the cops bought them to chase the bikers.
They use the Tiger as a chase car. I mean,
yeah.
being a 60s policeman, I think you had a look at what fast car you liked.
Right, yeah.
They all have that little bell at the front, don't they?
Oh, yeah, it's funny.
I often wonder, how does that work? What have they got? It's not electric, is it?
That'll strike fear into people. They go, oh boy, I better pull over. The ice cream man's coming.
That's the British thing. We don't believe in nightsticks and step away from the car, sir.
Yeah. Well, they do now. Yeah. Anything there you could use? I hope I wasn't.
Well, I'm sorry, it's all going to hit the cutting floor.
Oh,
mate.
yeah.
Is
that all right?
Should we go again?
Well, no. Yeah.
Should we go again with some good answers?
Was I supposed to pick the Tiger out of the three?
No, of course not.
I
But
think
it would be, if you want to give us a soundbite, I'll circulate it amongst the Tiger boys.
Okay.
Then it would be a good soundbite to have.
See, the Tiger guys are all here, and they're furious that I didn't pick the Tiger.
Pretty tidy installation, don't you think?
It is tidy. It is.
This guy, George Boskoff, you come across George, haven't you?
Yeah.
So he's the guy who sort of really worked on this car.
Yeah. I remember you used to open the hood and the heat would just blast you, especially in California. If it was 100 degrees outside, it was 150 in here.
But did yours always used to blow as well? It's like a geyser.
Well, but
Yeah, in the UK we turn them off and they'll sit there going, bubbling away.
Yeah. No, very nice.
It's kind of neat, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, it's a wonderful car. And it's fun to see a stock one and see how it was done exactly with the engine numbers on the valve cover, which is interesting. I mean, that really is a tight fit.
It is. It is. It is an incredible thing. You know, they were measuring what V8 would fit in it.
Right.
And when they were trying to do the car, and this was the one that fit it. You know, they were going around with a tape measure down the showrooms in LA to find
even the air cleaner got turned sideways.
Yeah, these are made especially for the Tiger.
Right.
What do they cost now? Sorry? One of these, you can't get these for love nor money, can you?
$1,000?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
$1,000. It's not really a...
Well, let's see what it looks like in the Cobra.
When we look at this, it's not quite the same level of shoehorning as that,
No,
is it?
no.
You probably could...
Right, family, ready? You know, it's interesting, when I was a kid, you'd open the hood of a Model T or Model A and see something. Then you open one of these, you go, oh my God, it looks so complicated. Now these look so simple compared to modern cars. You know, and of course they are. I mean, everything's accessible, reach all the plugs, carburetor, electrical system, it's all right there. And you got a bit more room than you do in the Tiger, as you can see.
And then, of course, he didn't stop at the 289, did he?
No, then they went, but you know, the only one that ever won a race was 289. A 427 never won a race.
Is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
I didn't know that. But yeah, there's plenty of room in there. You can keep that one reasonably cool, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And this one does run very cool. I never had a problem with it.
And he was getting real reliability out of the 289 as well, wasn't he?
Well, it was a real reliable engine. I mean, that was, you know, you can pick on the American cars for a lot of things, but they're durable, and heat and air conditioning are unbelievable. I mean, it's amazing to me. You know, it took, even Mercedes-Benz took years to catch up to the American air conditioning systems, and the luxury cars, they were noisy, and there'd just be one vent in the middle, and you know. I mean, I've got a Chrysler over there. It's got air conditioning front and back. You can hang meat in this thing. It's ridiculous how cold it gets.
But Ford must have loved this. This is what Ford were in it for, weren't they?
Well,
I mean, look at all this.
I mean, it just showed you how times change. You could buy the engine dress-up kit. So when you open your hood, people go, ooh, ah. Nobody opens a hood anymore. I just get a nicer sheet of plastic, you know, to cover everything. That's about it. But yeah, the Cobra valve covers and the air cleaner and all that. Yeah, you know.
So it would have helped Ford's kind of motorsport credentials.
Right.
I think.
But even these were dropped in the late 60s, early 70s to, I mean, they used to have SC Cobra 427s, and they'd take the stripe off and they'd just try to sell them as just car. It was just too much car for the street for most people.
So you got a 427 as well, have you?
Mine has got a 427 Cammer
Right.
with the overhead cam engine. It was used in NASCAR and in powerboat racing, yeah.
And which do you prefer?
I prefer this one. I like the smaller one. It's better. It's not just, you know, it's just more balanced. This has about the same amount of room as the Cobra, I guess, but easy to work on. Everything's right here. You know, this engine was chosen because the distributor's right in the front. Make it easy to get at. Oh, look at that! I got to clean up in here. But this is a nice original car.
And what's it like on the road? Is this because you know this was for racing, wasn't it? Really, but you could road it.
Well, it's raucous. It makes a lot of noise. You know, modern sports cars. I got the P1, which is a lot of fun, but you got to be going well over 100 to get any sense of speed out of it. Whereas this is the classic. All the fun is between 40 and 120. It just makes noise, and the solid axle, you can slide around on it, and it's just a lot of fun. It's very predictable. You know, yeah. And it's a good-looking car. Now, this first generation Mustang is usually the first version of anything is almost always the best, you know.
And did he make it handle? Did the Shelby guys make this handle, or was it still a bit of a truck?
Well, it handled. It was a really fast truck. You know, I mean, that's what it was. I mean, was it like a Porsche? No, but it won races and it got around the course, and that's what it's supposed to do. You know. Max Bolchowski used to build cars. He had that 401 Buick, Old Yeller, and he knew the softer the tire, the more traction it got, and he'd run them on low air pressure, and he would beat Ferraris and Maseratis with a 401 powered Buick. You know, so it was an interesting time. It's when a privateer could really do something. You know, if you're willing to work on your car and put a little effort in it, you can make it faster, stronger, better. You know.
They got a win, didn't they? A few wins in the SCCA in this.
Yeah, they did quite well. This is a very popular car. And it really helped Ford cement its high-performance image, yeah.
And the funny thing, isn't it? You see the Mustang go from that dreadful kind of six-cylinder, three-speed automatic all the way through to this.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. When the Mustang came out with the six-cylinder, they thought it would be the perfect single girl's car. And there was an ad, there was a book by Helen Gurley Brown that was very controversial called Sex and the Single Girl in the 60s. It was about the pill and all that kind of stuff. And the book was quite controversial. So Ford ran an ad, said Six and the Single Girl, 6-cylinder Mustang with a 3-speed. And in Boston, they wouldn't let him put the billboards up because, ooh, it related to sex.
Good crazy.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Very good. That is a good story. Jay, I can talk to you all day.
There you go.